What's good, everybody? It's your boy SBX, and I want to talk about how some women can't really take rejection when it comes to trying to attract men. Now, it's usually be the other way around, where men had to initiate conversation with a woman, and some women would either talk or not, and in some cases too, some women put in some tactics of playing hard to get in order for the man to get the woman, and that is something that they think is fun and amusing to them and it entertains them. Excuse me, folks. I feel though is that sometimes when a man have to deal with rejection, he has to accept it and lick his wounds and move on. I know I have, and sometimes women are more into rejecting men than men rejecting women. Now, I want to tell y'all like a personal story, because sometimes I don't talk about my personal life on YouTube, but in other words, I feel like I do want to explain it, but at the same time, I want to keep the person's name out of the video, to protect her identity. But I know this woman pretty well, and to be honest, this person I used to be friends with back when I was going to school, since we were kids. But I'm gonna get into the detail in the story. But anyways, this girl that I used to know, and she was the type of chick that, try to be your friend, but kind of taking advantage in some type of way. And yes, that should be something that you should never be friends with someone who will try to use you for granted. But as a kid, when you're young and dumb, you usually try to use that as trying to gain friendship. However, like I said, me and her had history. So, the last time I saw her was around 7th grade. And we both pretty much moved on with our lives and went to a different stage in life and went our separate ways. But I have never forgotten about her. Years later, she found me on Facebook and, seeing how I'm doing and want to talk to me and whatnot. So she was really eager to talk to me. And even though on Facebook, sometimes people don't really give out their numbers like that, she was very quick to give me her phone number. So which I had called, talked to her, catch up with old times or being nostalgic or whatever. But long story short, she tried to ask me questions about if I'm seeing anybody, if I'm into her, if she want to have sex with me. So I told her the truth about my relationship status, but however, on the sex part, I had pretty much declined it, because I'm not the type of guy who, just because you're a female, I have to feel like, I want to have sex with you because you have a pussy, and maybe regards to your looks. Basically, I feel like I didn't like the fact that she asked me this question, but instead of not respecting my wishes or just accept the fact that I don't want her, she got into a raging bitch fit and tried to convince me to be with her. And also too, she told me she has another nigga on the side. Now, I feel like I can understand why, when it comes to women, They hate when guys try to act thirsty and have another bitch on the side because, one, nobody wants to be number two in a relationship. And two, you know what I mean? You want some hoe shit. No. Now, I feel like I had to let this bitch go because of the fact that she was just not right in her own mind. So, the moral of the story is do not ever, ever, ever be around or talk to a woman who is crazy and who cannot accept rejection. You know? But I'm not saying that she was the only chick in my life that I rejected. I rejected a lot of women. Even if they asked me a question about anything to do with them, if I'm interested with them, and I say no, not really. So any type of form of rejection, I would necessarily say that some women that I've met in my life do this before, and she was not the only one. However, you know, I've seen where women try to provoke you to get with them and try to feel like they're the man and assume that just because you're a guy, you have sex with a lot of guys throughout your life. And none of this is actually true. I mean, there is men who are fucking bitches left and right, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you particularly have to go out there and see every girl and nail her. And that's not what I'm about. And I'll be honest with y'all. You know? And even with her, I don't tell y'all too, is that, you know, I'm not the type of guy who meet a random girl and all of a sudden I'm having sex with her and I don't even know who she is. I don't know what she's capable of. Sometimes I like to be aware of who I deal with, you know. It has nothing to do with being insecure. It's nothing to do with being a virgin. It's nothing to do with being a square. You're just thinking rationally about your choices. It's just like choosing to decide what game do you want to play and how do you feel about this game, or how much will it cost you, or whatever you buying from the store, or whatever you feel like you're comfortable dealing with. You know, with me, I wanted to say though too, it's like I like a woman who is more into my level, who I can relate to, and then have sex. But in some cases, people don't think that. You know, they just think, okay, she has a nice ass, nice titties, or he has a big dick, or a certain size penis, or just the way he looks, or how his body's built. You only caring about his screwing. But everybody's blinded to the lust into a person's eyes, you know, and what they crave for. I mean, everybody craves for sex, but sometimes you got to take back and think that, you know, you don't know what you're getting yourself into. You know, some people use lust as a love and trap you to being married to them. And, you know, it takes away your freedom of making the right choices in life, and also too being free to meet other people. And people are crazy like that. But on to the top about women and rejection. I feel though is that with me, some women who can't take rejection, they do some real fucked up shit. And they have this like you can see that in high school, but regardless, you have women who are like in their 20s and their 30s and still doing some immature high school shit. Like talking shit behind somebody's back, trying to flirt with another guy, and try to make you feel jealous. Putting rumors out there talking about he gay, he raped you, and he can't do this right, he ain't doing that right, he's a terrible person, and things of that sort. Now, if a guy who, like I said, women will do some real fucked up dumb shit and just, you know, be such a bitch when a guy rejects them. And I see this happening. And sometimes women are used to guys who want them and get with them, and they're the ones rejecting them. And that's the ego. That's being egotistical about it. And today's society, women are more egotistical about who they choose with men. But I can understand on the other note that some women know what they want out of life, and some women don't. And the ones that don't know what they want out of life, they fuck around and mess with people's emotions, and then they getting themselves hurt in the long run too, because they're playing mind games and playing with people's emotions, and that's not cool. And honestly, I don't condone women doing this, or a guy either. And if guys do that and acting like bitches, and like I said, and it goes back to saying that they're the ones have problems about it. They can't. I don't like rejection either, but fuck it, lick your wounds and move on and meet another person who will do better, or who can fit your status. I know I have, but like I said, there's more than life than just one person. This person is not the last person on earth. It's not the last woman or last man on earth that you should just feel like you gotta prioritize and force this person to have sex, like forcing a fucking animal to be tamed. And it's fucked up. And when you move on to something, like I said, like the ones that reject you are the ones later on want you in life when you have something better. And like I said, like I see, like what you see on the pictures, some women do not take no for an answer when they try to seduce you. And like I said, I see this happening a lot. And I can understand on some notes, women don't want to feel, or they feel some type of way of being insecure, and what they do is hide their feelings and try to be more, different, and then assume that you want them, but really they want you. But they want you to be like how the other women are doing right now, try to convince you to speak to them, make the first move, initiate the conversation, and rather you have to play the fucking mind games or not, jumping around hoops and climbing in ladders to get to reach the girl's heart. And sometimes I feel like in life we all have to go out and just express how we feel about people, and you can't have your cake and eat it and expect everything to go your way, and that the ones who are acting insecure and not assume that this guy won't like you, but yet you're not even making the first move, you're just playing hard to get and whatnot, even if the guy didn't like you. You know what I'm saying? You're giving the negative signals to people. And then if you try to be like, hey, just keep calm, you're not too worried about anything, you're just trying to be social, they just questioning you about your sexuality, and they're bringing up shit that you're not even saying. But it's funny, but you can't help but to laugh at certain perspectives of women doing this. But it's a way of just saying, hey, I'm insecure and I don't know how to talk to men, and I'm used to rejecting them, and I'm not sure if I will get rejected by the guy that I like. But anyways though, folks, I'm done here talking about this discussion. Please guys out there who are watching this video, let me know what y'all think, and put a comment on the comment section below about this topic. Do you feel like it ever happened to you, or ever occurred to this situation, or not? And same thing applies to women, if you ever dealt with this kind of situation. So anyways though, folks, I'm done here. Like I said, leave a comment, like, and subscribe to my channel. You dig? SBX Rapping is up. Thanks for watching. Peace.